Now we want to bring in Fox News contributor and former GOP Congressman Jason Chaffetz. Jason, we are not going to make you jump into the water to catch a Frisbee. Don't worry. Luckily, you're remote in Utah.
I would totally do that. I can way out jump Griff. I know I can. I know I can.
We're going to put that to the test, but not today.
Eventually. That's exactly right. Well, we've got this report released from the House committee. You're familiar with the gentleman that put this together. Yeah. The GOP-led Intel Committee's report found, and Griff's holding it, over 250 pages, found no collusion. And the president, of course, doubling down on this being a witch hunt. What do you make of this committee's report on Russia?
Well, look, it's been 15 months, and the Democrats have been screaming collusion since day one. But here we are at 15 months. If you ask a Democrat, what's your single best piece of evidence, they still don't have one. So, look, Devin Nunes and Trey Gowdy and Mike Conaway and Tom Rooney, they've done an amazing amount of work. They had more than 70 interviews, countless hours of testimony. They have poured through literally hundreds of thousands of documents, and still at the end of the day, they have nothing. And Adam Schiff and the Democrats can say, well, we need to keep going. But there's just nothing there.
So, Congressman, you mentioned 70 witnesses, so they had more than 20 subpoenas. They reviewed more than 3,000 documents. In the report, they lay out their methods, as do all investigations, whether Republican or Democrat. But yet the response has been from House Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi yesterday, calling it fundamentally flawed. They didn't talk to the correct witnesses. They didn't, reveal the correct information. So it's fundamentally flawed. I had to go back and forth for a few hours with Pelosi's press secretary and asked her, then come on and do the show and tell us what's wrong with it. Oddly, she didn't come on today, and neither did a single Democrat from the Intel Committee. So what is it that Democrats can argue is wrong with this report?
Well, look, the Democrats had the conclusion in mind before they followed the facts. And actually what happened over the last year is when you follow the facts, the ones that were doing the colluding were the Democrats, and they're working with the, through Fusion GPS, working with people overseas, pouring millions of dollars in to create this fake dossier. That's where the real collusion happened. There was nothing that happened that Donald Trump that you could point to that was actual collusion. And actually, if you look at the Comey memos, he actually said, his interaction with the president, it actually describes that the president wanted to have a full investigation of this if there was anybody in there. But at this point, we have nothing to do with collusion.
All right. Speaking of that dossier, I'm sure you watched the Brett Baer's interview with James Comey just a couple days ago. And the moment that I think stood out for most people was when he was asked about who funded this dossier. And to many people's surprise, he said he didn't know. And the only reason, Jason, he has heard that Democrats funded it was through the media. This is coming from the man who was leading the FBI when all of this went down. What is your response?
Well, first of all, Brett Baer did a great interview, and I think asked very probing questions that you didn't hear anywhere else. But it is stunning that the FBI director, this far after the fact, still doesn't understand where the funding of this came from. It is core and central to what is fundamentally flawed when they presented this document to a judge. They did not give him a full and complete picture of who was funding this document because it was bogus. It was fallacious. It did not have the correct information in there. And if they knew that the opponent of Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, and her staff was funding this, that would be central to a judge's interpretation of this.
Do you believe he didn't know?
And for Director Comey to plead ignorance at this point, yeah, but that's not an excuse. For the FBI director, who has to be intimately and personally involved in pushing this forward to the FISA court, for him to plead ignorance, I mean, it just makes the case that he should have never been the FBI director.
Yeah, it sure does. And a lot of people made that case before he was, but nevertheless, now he's running around selling books. We appreciate your time, Jason Chaffetz.
Jason, we're going to bring you in studio next time to catch that
And I look
Frisbee.
forward to that diving contest.
I'll bring my running shoes, Griff. You get ready.
All right.
Thanks, Jason. Good to see you this morning.
Thank you.
All right, turning now to some other headlines. After serving 44 years behind bars, a cold-blooded cop killer is now a free man. This man, the New York City Patrolmen's Benevolent Association, is outraged over the release of Herman Bell.
The parole board has lost their goddamn humanity to think that a murderer should walk their streets. I don't want a murderer in my damn neighborhood, nor do you.
Ooh. Bell thrown behind bars for his role in the ruthless murders of NYPD officers Joe Piagentini and Waverly Jones back in 1971. A panel of judges will hear arguments to put Bell back in prison next month. And Saturday Night Live has been bashing President Trump nonstop.
We have to take a hard look at mental health, which I have so much of. I have one of the healthiest mentals.
But a former SNL star is not laughing anymore. Rob Schneider is slamming the show's politics, saying, quote, "It is hard to watch." Schneider telling the New York Daily News, quote, "You kind of assumed they would lean more left and liberal, but now the cat's out of the bag. They are completely against Trump," which I think makes it less interesting because you know the direction the piece is going. Interesting take.
Exactly.
There. All right, well, 80s pop group ABBA is making a comeback.
Awesome.
You are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17.
Riff is so into this. The Swedish band announcing their decision to release new songs and a virtual tour after 35 years. No release date has been set, but one of the songs, titled "I Still Have Faith in You," will be performed on a special program airing in December. Who doesn't like ABBA, Pete?
Griff couldn't wait.
I still got faith in him.
Who doesn't like ABBA? Everyone. No, I'm just kidding. ABBA, I'm sure, is fine. We know.
All about the ABBA. All right, the Broward County Sheriff sparking outrage when he said this after the Parkland shooting.
I'm the sheriff. My name's on the door. The people responsible are the ones who took the calls and didn't follow up on them.
Well, now his own deputies are fighting back. Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi is here to react just ahead.
Yeah, because he threw him under the bus. Well, plus TV host Mike Rowe calling out the many problems in our education system.